네, 안녕하세요. 와이노조입니다. 요즘 엄청 핫한 브랜드죠. 아틀라스 케이블 브랜드의 아틀라스 케이블에 저희 책임지고 계시는 저희 라틴 CEO를 모시고서 인터뷰를 진행해 보도록 하겠습니다. 몇 가지 질문들을 준비를 했고, 혹시 여러분들께서 저희 영상 보시다가 무엇인지 있으시면 댓글 남겨주시면 저희가 정확한 답변을 남겨드리도록 하겠습니다.
Sure. Firstly, thank you for inviting me to Wine Audio and to talk to your customers and audience. It's a great pleasure to be here. Atlas Cables was founded in 1999, so we are 25 years old this year, so it's our anniversary. And we started very small in a small town south of Glasgow in Scotland called Kilmarnock. And Kilmarnock, one of the famous things from Kilmarnock was where Johnny Walker whiskey brand started. One day Atlas might be as big as Johnny Walker. Hopefully. There are 10 people within Atlas. 2 people responsible for R&D, 4 engineers for doing the building of the products, because they're all hand-built in Kilmarnock. The other 4 people are responsible for marketing and for administration and sales. At Atlas, we think there are 5 key elements for building a cable house. Although we profess to be a cable manufacturer, our background is more material science and engineering. So we look at things from the bottom up, and we spend a lot of time developing our skill set for developing cable technology. So 25 years ago, or 28 years ago, we decided that our preferred material for the conductors would be OCC copper. And by choosing OCC as our preferred conductor, it opened up different ideas for how we develop the product. So the 5 key elements for us are the conductor quality, the dielectric efficiency, the plug integrity, screening efficiency, and manufacturing process. All of these elements have a major influence on the performance of interconnect cables, loudspeaker cables, even power cables. And we've chosen OCC as the conductor material because of its efficiency and also its purity. And one of the side effects of OCC, or using OCC as our preferred material, is that it doesn't like what's called post-processing. So it doesn't like to be reheated. So it doesn't like to be soldered. If you solder it, you destroy the crystalline structure of the material. So that led us to the decision that connecting the conductor to a plug had to be by the use of cold welding or crimping. That gives us some advantages in that it's a very consistent process we use our tooling. So the tool, the idea of crimping means that we supply the tool. The tool is already calibrated so that when you're making a cable or I'm making a cable, it's the same pressure you're putting on the material, so it's consistent. We also have it so it's airtight, so that the material doesn't oxidize. So this basically means that all of the cables are built the same way. If you solder, then there's lots of inconsistencies. different materials in the solder, different amount of heat, whereas tool the crimping means it's less mistakes. And it means that the integrity and the performance of the product, regardless if it's our entry level to our highest level cable, is the same. And the engineers build all of the cables. So we don't have an expert for high-end cable or medium cable. They all build the same cables from entry level to highest level. Because you have integrity and you have complete consistency. The key technologies for us are very much the conductor material being the kind of core. We've used it for 25 years. Very, very important. For us, the important thing is our understanding of material science and how to maximize that, the use of science to extract information from the cable. And the big thing for us is less loss is our biggest thing. So we want to lose less information on our case. So we spend a lot of time developing different ways of losing less information. And then when it comes to manufacturing with the cold weld or the crimping, Crun has been developed to maximize the loss that noise creates. Over the last 9 years since we developed Crun, there are many more influential things that cause noise or pollution that cables will pick up. So cables by their design are like antennas. They attract noise. And in today's environment, there's lots more noise than there ever has been. Things like mobile phones radiate noise, low voltage lighting, screens, projectors, all radiate noise. And the cables will pick up noise. And the problem there is that you end up with signal and noise. And what you want is only signal. Traditionally, electronics are supposed to dissipate noise that are picked up by audio cables. The electronics through the earthing system would send the noise to earth and the signal processed through the circuit board. Okay, so generally on an RCA cable, you have the pin which carries the signal from your source to the preamplifier or preamp to power amplifier. And the inside of the pin or inside of the plug, there is a bracket that earths product to the chassis of the preamp or the power amplifier. Basically is the screen of the cable that attracts the noise from the surrounding area. So what we do with Grunt is basically we call it a pseudo balance connection with independent earth. And the idea behind it is that at the preamplifier end and power amplifier end, we attach on the interconnect cable, we attach a little flying lead to the bracket of the RCA cable. What we do is this little flying lead is connected to the screen of the interconnect cable, and rather than earthing it to the preamplifier, we take the screen off onto the flying lead and put it to a known earth point to the AC outlet. So what we are doing is we are diverting the noise that would go into the preamplifier and be processed. We're taking the noise away so that the only thing that goes into the preamp is the signal. And the outcome of that is that you have much more, you've got a lower noise floor So you hear more nuances and more detail when you use grunt. Ailsa as a family of products, the introduction of the new technology called, or topology of cable is called Kirin. And the idea behind it is that rather than being a coaxial cable, what we're now doing is we're splitting the cables. So we have two twisted pairs of conductors. One will carry the signal and one will carry the screen or ground. So you're completely separating the signal and ground. So better integrity, better detail. And for Atlas, we strive to make every product excel in performance, regardless of price. So our goal or our philosophy is, if someone buys an Atlas product, it will enhance their system. So whether it's an Element or whether it's an Ailsa or whether it's an Aran, when they plug it into their systems, it will sound fantastic, regardless of price points. So it means the customer with Ailsa is benefiting from a different topology, a better topology of how to maximize what that amount of conductor can make to their system. When you step up from Ailsa to Mavros, there's lots more conductor, better dielectric around the conductor. So big difference, big audio difference. But it's also a lot more expensive and it's aimed at a customer with a high-end system. And I think that the customer who is buying an Ailsa or buying a Hyper or buying a Mavros will understand the value and performance. It's a big difference, and it enhances their system. So it's not going to double the performance of an entry-level CD player or streamer, but it'll give them a big advantage. And it's not a crazy amount of money as an upgrade. And the way I put it a lot of times is that if you have a good system and you want to make it a lot better, first step I would make is putting in new interconnect cables, because it will give a big jump for not a lot of money. To make the same jump, buying a better CD player, a better streamer, maybe cost 3 or 4 times the price. It's quite a difficult question to answer. I would say anyone buying an Atlas cable is going to hear more detail, more quality, more nuance when they put it into a system. I don't think that it works better with classical music or pop music or jazz. I think it just delivers more reality, more detail. So if you have the whole idea of a good system is to broaden your range of, or your taste of music. So you shouldn't just be listening to classical music or jazz or pop. And I think that when you put in something like an Ailsa or Mavros and an Aran, it lets you hear more of what's on the disc or what you're streaming. So musicians sound better, timing of things sound better. It's easier to relax to. Okay. It's kind of, I don't know, that's a $64,000 question. I think think the important thing about retailing is to give the customer the opportunity to experience something better. And something like ELSA can go with many systems and be able to show big differences between products and also music. So if a customer is thinking about improving their system, a simple way of doing it is saying, good idea, listen to this. And it will change their perception that they need to spend a fortune making things sound better. And when I mean better, I don't mean hi-fi better. I mean musically better. So everything's a bit more relaxed. The timing of things is more natural. And my big thing is making your brain work less. Music is supposed to relax you. You shouldn't be sitting at the edge of the couch listening to music. You should be able to relax, sit back, and the music should transform you somewhere else. And I think one of the things about ELSA and any Atlas cables, they're very revealing. They're very natural. They don't add anything to the audio spectrum. So for me, it makes things sound easier, more relaxing. I think one of the key things is getting customers to understand that buying an audio system or a component, they need to do some work. They need to understand how it works. Many customers don't think they have golden ears or they are not an expert. And one of the things I tend to do is let customers hear a big difference. Simple piece of music, one set of cables, play 30 seconds, change the cable, and the difference is big. Make it a big difference so customer is more confident in their own ears and their own senses. Once they do that, they're more relaxed and they're more open to things making a difference. So ELSA is one of those products that changes people's perception. Most people don't think they can hear a difference. Put it on a good system and then upgrade. And people, what did you do?
네, 3시간 동안 인터뷰 주셔서 감사합니다. 저희 마이브 오디오 방문해 주셔서 좋은 말씀 주셔서 정말 더더욱 감사드리고요. 오늘 인터뷰 이걸로 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 시청해 주셔서 감사합니다.